Now today we're going to be working with the rifles of ARMA 3. Now before we get started here, there are lots of rifles, and I'm probably going to make it into just like a two-part series, or a two-part episode, I guess you could say. So, I'm just going to go through the different, well, first I guess I'm going to go through the assault rifles, and then I'm going to go through the sniper rifles. Or the other way around, I'm not sure, but from the looks of it, I guess I'm just gonna start with the sniper rifles for now. So, before we use this gun, keep in mind that it is a subsonic rifle. So basically, what that means is it is very inaccurate at long range. So, let me go and use it over here on these targets. Now, this right here, over there, that's only 200 meters away. So if I change my 0 into 300, I have to aim right here. And I'm actually going to go right over it, as you can see. Now this rifle is actually 12.7. Now if you could tell, it actually curved a bit to a right and over the target. So I'm actually going to have to aim way down low, pretty much like this. Now you can see that the round travels really slow. So do not use it in long range engagement. It is a close to medium engagement sniper rifle. Or, not a sniper rifle. A rifle, I guess. Only has one fire mode, semi-auto. But it is 12.7, so meaning that it will be very effective if you hit someone in one shot. Now, this weapon is very effective in close quarters since the report of the rifle, aka the shot of the rifle, is suppressed by this big huge suppressor on the end. So if I just shoot it here. Now, since it's subsonic, it doesn't create the sonic boom that a normal supersonic rifle would. So, if you were that guy right over here, and I shot right there, you won't hear the shot. I mean, you might hear the shot, but you won't hear the crack of the bullet going through the air, since it is subsonic. So, please do keep in mind, this is a gun, and you pretty much, there's a big learning curve to it, but you can be pretty good at, it's more of a CQC rifle, but, okay, so we're gonna move on here. Okay, next down the line, we have the Cyrus 9.3. Now, this can be whatever rifle you want it to be honest. It's fully auto, so it qualifies an assault rifle in my book. So, basically anything in this game is 7.62 and up can kill anything in one shot. Unless it's in the legs, sometimes it won't kill. Or unless they're just wearing really heavy armor. But in most cases, this will kill in one shot unless they have the carrier rig and you shoot them in the leg. But even with the carrier rig, if you shoot them in the chest, they'll die in at least one shot. So, go on, I shoot at this target 300 meters away, exact zeroing. Now you can tell that the bullet is very fast, which is very useful. But even with the suppressor on it, you're still gonna hear the crack, so it's not exactly a stealthy weapon. But it is very effective though, because you can just go and destroy these targets here, one shot at a time, and it's a very good weapon. It does curve to a little bit of the right at long ranges. Okay, that bullet just keeps on falling, but it is a very effective weapon. I think it comes with a bipod. No, it doesn't. You have to put a bipod on it. And it does have some pretty unique attachments too. It's got, I think, all the scopes in the game, and just lots of cool stuff. I think there's a camo version of this too, but I'm not sure. So, moving on here. So, this is basically just your typical DMR kind of weapon, or assault rifle. So, moving on, we have the GM9 LYNX. There's a camo version of this too. But the GM9 LYNX is very devastating at close to long ranges. Well, close if you have like whatever it's called, like the RCO or whatever, where it has the two scopes, like the one scope on the bottom and another on the top. It can be really devastating in all ranges, pretty much. Now this isn't like the ASP-1 though. This is 50 cal, and it's supersonic. So if you shoot it, you're gonna hear the crack and also the shot. There's no suppressor that comes with this. I'm pretty positive because it doesn't look like you could put a suppressor on the end of that. But I've seen lots of snipers use it. It seems like the most used sniper. If you're playing on King of the Hill, you have to be a pretty high level to get it though. So that's so pretty rare in DayZ in Exile. So I'm just gonna go lay down here, and we'll see how fast the bullet travels. So let's just shoot over here. Now that looks to me, let's like let's see here. Okay, that's gonna be like I'm gonna estimate that's about 1,100. So I'm gonna shoot there, and hopefully it'll hit it. And the shot is very fast. It looks like I was on target. It does bank just a little bit to the right. I would assume that all rifles would do that. I went right over the target that time, but this should be a hit. Okay, and it's actually probably 900. But you gotta make sure you have you know how to use your rangefinders and stuff, because some rifles have a built-in rangefinder that you can use. So it was 900 meters, and it did hit the target after a couple shots. It was practically my bad because I thought it was 1,100. But this bullet travels very fast, so if you shoot at just this one, it'll go pretty much instantly into the target. So it is a pretty fast bullet, and it's very effective in pretty much all ranges. It's not that good at close range, but I guess you can use it if you have like an ACO or something. But it is pretty good, so I use this often. Alright, moving on. We will now have the Katiba 6.5mm. Now the carbine's a little bit different, so but it has less accuracy and doesn't weigh as much. But let's use the regular one. Well, not with a scope like that on it. Let's use this one. So now the Katiba 6.5mm, it usually will not kill in one shot. In fact, with the carrier rig, I think it takes like 2 or 3. So what you're gonna want to do here is the zeroing on here doesn't change. You can't change the zeroing, and you're just gonna have to pretty much just shoot at the target or compensate. It depends on the scope you have, or if you have a scope. If you have a scope, then you gotta read the markings on here. So yeah, let's go ahead and try it out. See if I can hit that target way down there. It's gonna be about right there. Now I did hit the target. Let's see, the bullet does move pretty fast since it is also supersonic. I'm pretty sure you can put a silencer on here, by the way. You can put all the scopes in the game on this, I think, also. I think that goes for every gun except for the pistols, but this will pretty much kill any target in like 2 or 3 hits. Probably a 1-hit headshot is my guess, but or it might take a little bit more. It doesn't seem that powerful to me, but actually wonder if I can hit this one way out here. But it is pretty effective in those situations. I was actually pretty close. Oh wow, I hit it. Okay. But yeah, this thing can do some pretty impressive range engagements, though. Looks like it can do some long range engagements from, it looks like. I actually shot that target. That was about 800 meters away, I guess, but at least 800. But let's move on here. So now we have the M320 LRR. Now, to me, it looks like a modernized version of the SRR-61, or as COD players know it, the Intervention. Now, this is a pretty effective weapon. It's pretty much a one-hit kill anywhere on the body. It's 408 JTAC, so it's not as powerful as the 50 cal, but it can still do some pretty good damage. It does have a built-in bipod on it, so we're just going to use that. It has zeroing all the way up to 2000, so it's a pretty long-range weapon. Now, I'm gonna shoot his target over here. Looks like 900. Now the bullet is, typically fast. Not too fast, but it's pretty good. The bullet stays really straight on target, so that's good. But I don't know if you could put a suppressor on this. I may be wrong. I think I've seen one before on it. But just let me in the comments section if I'm missing anything, by the way, guys. I think I went below the hinges there. But as it looks like there, you can get a pretty easy headshot, and I guess anything in the head area to the crotch down is always a one-hit kill. If they're wearing a carrier rig or any type of armor on their legs, it might be a two-hit, but I really doubt it. This thing can take out tires on a Jeep in pretty much one shot, and so yeah, it is pretty effective. Oh, my bad, I didn't notice this thing right here. But now we're gonna move on to the MR10 338. Now, if you guys haven't noticed now, the ones with the this symbol around it means it is part of the Marksman DLC. So you need the Marksman DLC, which is a DLC to get more snipers. It's also sort of like the helicopter pack. It's really dumb, I know, but they are pretty good weapons. So I've never used the MR10 before, so let's give it a try. It doesn't look like it has a bipod on it. It does look pretty futuristic, this though. But let's just give it a try at this long range. Alright, I think that was 1,000. So let's shoot. Okay. 1,100. Okay. Now it does have a bit of armor. The bullet's not too fast, so you gotta kind of compensate for that. So. Yeah, I should hit it. There we go. Now, at about 1,200 meters, I hit him in the, looks like the heart area. So, it is pretty effective. I think it's 2 shots if they're wearing a carrier rig, or just 1 shot if they're not. It is, oh wow, I missed that. But it is a pretty effective weapon. There is camo versions of this too. I think there's camo versions of every sniper, but so let's go ahead and go to the next one. So the Mark 1 EMR, it looks to me like it's a futuristic version of the Mark 14 or the M14. Now it is a 7.62, so it might take about 3 shots or 4 shots if they're wearing a carrier rig. So let's take this shot from 1,100. I think that's the correct target. But it will have some arc to it. It does look like the bullet is pretty slow. I would imagine this is for close range engagements since it's got a 20 round mag. Yeah, I'd recommend using a different scope for this, but if you're like right there or something, yeah, not with this scope, but obviously if you were right there and you had the correct kind of scope, you could probably kill him in about 2 hits with full auto. So, or no, semi-auto. That's too far for full auto. To use semi-auto, I bet you have to be about right there. Otherwise, full auto is just useless at that range. But yeah, this looks like a pretty effective DMR. It looks like to me. So let's go to the next one. Okay, here. Now we have the Mark 14 7.62. Now this is a DMR. DMR stands for Designated Marksman Rifles. Now, DMRs are effective because they can be used in close range, medium range, and maybe just a little bit of long range, but it is, I guess, pretty effective in most situations. Let me just try it out at long range here. Let's try it out on this guy over here. I think it does come. It doesn't come with the bipod either. Neither does the Mark 1 EMR. So let's try it out. 500. Now the bullet seems to be pretty slow to me. It does look like it might shoot off some rocks if you're not aiming correctly, but it does look a pretty effective weapon at long range. I can beat this dang target, but I think it looks like to me it's more for medium range, like 500 meters and below. It does have full auto, so I guess you could do some pretty good damage with it. But it's just basically a 3 or 4 shot kill if they're wearing pretty good armor. So let's move on to the next one. Okay. Alright, let's go to the Mark 18 ABR. It just looks like a better version of the Mark 14. I won't go over that. Okay, now we're going to move on to the Mark 20. So there's a camo version of this. Yeah, it does look like there's a camo version of all these, except for the MX variants. So the Mark 20 is a very effective weapon. I would say it could kill someone in about 4 hits since it's 5.56. With the carry rig, maybe like 7 or something. But it isn't very damaging. I'll just say that now. But go ahead and just slap a RCO on this, and we should be good. Now this is an assault rifle, alright? So basically 7.62 and under is probably meant for close range. So this one is mainly for full auto and maybe just a little bit of close quarters engagement. Now the bullet's pretty small, so it won't do much damage at long range at all. But let's just try it out here. So if you control the recoil, it does have some pretty good spray. Let's just try it out again. So yeah, it has really good accuracy. I don't know if it has any other variants of it that make the stats better instead of just the camo, but I know another one has the EGLM on it, so let's just test it out at long range quickly here. I doubt this will hit, but be darn surprised if it does. Oh, it's like 6. And I was actually pretty close right there. But yeah, I don't recommend using it at long range at all. It's not even meant for long range at all. It'll do like no damage at that range. So let's move on to the next rifle. There is a Mark 200, which is a LMG. I think it's just the LMG variant of the Mark 20. It looks like to me. Does not come with a bipod. So just spray and see how good this does. So it does have some pretty good accuracy there too. Pretty much looks like to me the most accurate LMG in the game, if you know how to control it. It has no zeroing on it. This also is 6.5mm, so it might not kill anyone in one shot, but it's pretty dang accurate. So that's it for the Mark 20. So let's see here. See what else we got here. So now we have the MX variants. There's lots of variants of the MX. There's like the MXM and all that. But now I'm just gonna go through like the MX stuff, because the others just provide a small boost of stuff that is good. Now this would be good for like close range engagements, like right here. I bet if you took the scope off, you might actually do better. I really like sights on these, but yeah. It looks like it's not made for medium range or short range. But it might be used for medium range in some operations. Also, you hold shift or hold right click to hold your breath in this game. Mine is right click for some reason, I don't know why. But yeah, let's just spray. Okay. Now it does drag a little bit to the right here. It goes up and to the right, so it's kind of like, looks like an F sorta to me. But I bet 3-round bursts this thing might have. Just have 3-round bursts, so you can just do this. Yeah, that'll work. My bad, it's getting a little bit laggy. Actually, it's just dropped my frames to like barely any, but so I think this is gonna be the last rifle here. So we actually have a bit more to go, but these don't really count as rifles, I guess. But now this one isn't a rifle at all, but it is. It's just an LMG, and it's 9.3. That's the biggest part. A 9.3 LMG. It's like, that's like insane. So let's test it out. So it's got some power to it. I bet you could suppress enemies with this. Also, probably a one-hit kill in almost all situations. So it has 150 rounds. I think that's a, what is it called? It's got a 150 round belt. So it is pretty powerful. You can have any color tracers you like on this. So it is very good. It can be switched to burst fire or full auto. So that's unique. So yeah, I would say this is a pretty effective weapon in almost all situations. Long range, I don't think it would do so well, but if you put a scope on it, I think it might will. But yeah, that's basically it, guys. I'll have, but yeah, that's basically just it. I might do something with this later, but just drop a like, guys, if this helped out or enjoyed, and if you don't like it, then just don't watch it. But yeah, bye, guys.